Okay, we'll start with the statement from Coach, and then we'll take questions. We have the microphone.
Proud of the team's effort tonight. We played a really good game, good team. They came out hot on us early, and we were a little flat, and then finally gained our composure and pushed away to get a very important win.
Hey, Coach, in the first half, they were able to control the tempo. What did you do different to control the tempo and take over in the second half than you did in the first half?
Well, we switched our press up, and then we started playing. We shrunk the court. We made the court smaller. We were spread out too far in the first half, and our closeouts were really poor, and they were penetrating and getting any shot that they wanted. I think we kind of calmed that down for a while, and then we got ugly for a couple minutes, but for the most part, kind of calmed down their paint touches.
With seven minutes left in the first half, you put in Landers and Lester, and then Deandre too, all with 2 fouls. What was the thinking? You just couldn't let it slip away?
Yeah, no, couldn't let it slip away. The games are too important. We need our bench to do better, obviously, but we had to put those guys back out there and make sure that we sustain and then let them push away because they had momentum.
While you guys were kind of trying to figure things out offensively, Jalen had a really big first half. I guess, what did he just show you tonight, and what has he just kind of shown you over these last 6 games since the back for his injury?
Yeah, well, I was about to say, not just tonight, but for the last 5 or 6 games, if we give him the ball, he's scoring for us down there, and we can't forget about him. He's had a matchup that we've liked against SMU and tonight, and we made sure that he got the ball, got more touches tonight.
You guys have so many options. Anybody can lead you in scoring on any given night, but has he kind of maybe established himself as maybe, I guess, kind of that go-to option for you guys?
Yeah, he has. He and Deandre both, but he's been really, just working his butt off in practice, before practice, after practice on his game. And in the days of shoot-around, Coach Brown gets the bigs together and been working on the skill set. And you can just tell the growth in him over the last six or 7 games.
Coach in the back, just how much was Jalen Duren's ability to score in the first half? How much did that open up the second half? Obviously, the 3-point game started to fall.
Well, it opened up a lot because he had to be accounted for. Maybe they thought they could play him one-on-one, but they had to start double teaming. And he started making plays from the post, so he was getting fouled and making plays. So it definitely made them adjust in the second half on how they were playing him.
Jason and then Mark.
It seems like not only in production, but Jalen is also, it seems like he's taking charge more, just from almost like a leadership perspective. And I say that because it looked like Deandre was getting kind of passionate in the first half, getting those fouls, and Jalen kind of is out there calming it down. Usually it should,
Yep.
But have you noticed that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Jalen is definitely more level-headed, and that's than Deandre. But that's what makes Deandre great. He plays with passion. He plays angry, and a lot of times when he makes mistakes, he gets down on himself. Jalen is the one that goes to him to have him pick his head up, and Jalen is a great leader. He ultimately wants to win. He wants to get to the NCAA tournament. He wants to get there, and he's playing like it every single night.
Was the plan to play him 34 minutes tonight after a couple of games where he didn't play?
Well, Malcolm came to the coaching staff and said that if he didn't need to play tonight because of his knees, that if we needed him, then to play him. And obviously Jalen had the best game of his career thus far, and we didn't need to play Malcolm, so it was good for him to get the rest. But Jalen played more minutes and definitely contributed.
You said yesterday this season has been adventurous, I believe was your word. Tonight was kind of the same way. I mean, do you get used to that, or would you rather,
I don't want to get used to that. No. I'd rather them carry over what we do in practice, and that's shrinking the court, playing out of closeouts, trusting your closeout, and not letting people get to our paint, contesting the shot and boxing out and going down on the other end and sharing the basketball. I don't like adventurous at all.
Along those lines, man, it seemed like at the beginning of the game you guys were playing a little tight. Maybe, I don't know if you'd agree or not, but just curious how you've sort of talked to these guys about embracing this moment where, the stakes are really high and you can't lose, but at the same time, this is also the best time of the year for college basketball. How have you sort of instructed your guys to kind of handle these sorts of moments, high-stress moments?
Yeah, I think that the pressure is on some of these guys. They obviously want to play great individually, but when you have to win, we can't afford to lose anymore, and they know that. So we're not putting any pressure on them. We're just giving them a game plan to stick by, and that's all they have to do to stick to, and that's pretty much all they have to do. And I told them today you can't have March Madness without February success. And I heard that from a coach, Perry Clark. He said it the other day, and I totally agree. You can't have March Madness without February success. You got to be successful in February, and that's what we're doing right now. And if that puts pressure on you, then that's the reason why you came to the University of Memphis. There's going to be pressure to make the NCAA tournament, and we all have it, and we know what we have to do.
Jason, and then over to Steve.
Did you sense sort of a weird vibe in the building in that first half when things like Temple pushes the lead out to 8 around the 8-minute mark, 8 or 9 minute mark in the first half? Like it just kind of felt odd in the building. Did you sense that?
Yeah, it was very quiet. It was like the crowd was in shock because we've been playing really good basketball for the last few games because we haven't been here in a couple weeks since Tulane. And to come out that flat after how we've been playing well, the crowd wants to see us carry over what we did on the road and bring it home. And I could just tell they were in shock, and it was very quiet.
I know it's got to be rare for either Tyler or Landers to have a half where they don't score, but I think they combined for 20 each in that second half. Just how much of a spark did they kind of provide down the stretch for you all?
Yeah, those guys being on the floor always gives us an opportunity to, space the floor, and they have to be accounted for. Those guys, if you leave them open, I feel like every shot that they shoot is going to go in. So for both of them to go scoreless, that's unusual, but I knew that it wasn't going to stay that way.
We saw Monty warming, going through drills and stuff on the floor before the game tonight. Is his return imminent, or are we still kind of wait and see?
Yeah, I'm just waiting on the call from the doc and him, basically on how he's comfortable with maybe a bump. Doing 1-on-0 is different from building yourself up from getting an actual bump and then hitting the floor. So I'm waiting on them.
Probably finish up with Terry. I think we see one more.
Hey, Coach, you got a quick turnaround to Wichita State. You've been on a revenge tour for the teams that beat you earlier. I know they're going to come in anticipating and trying to get you. You've had success against them, but this is a critical game. So what do you tell you guys to get ready for this game on Sunday?
Just basically to whatever we give them on the game plan to stick to that, because they'll change up. Our team will change up the game plan during the game. And then we'll start asking questions in the timeout. Who called that play or who called that defensive set? We want them to be able to control themselves out on the floor, but if we have a game plan and we haven't deviated from it, then we don't want them to do it as well. So playing Wichita State is always going to be a tough game, but all they have to do is stick to the game plan and play with energy. And we feel comfortable with that.